Alright, we dug deep, found the keys. Reckon it'll run? Let's see. Uh-oh. Battery's dead. Alright, these folks sent me this little jump box, which is 3 times, according to amperage, bigger than the last one I got, I think. It's still in the package. I haven't charged it or anything. Let's see what happens. It's pretty nicely packaged. Anyway, let's see what it looks like. It says it's at 82% charge. I'm gonna go out and try it. I just heard it click, but it don't light up. Well, anyway, let's see what happens. Oh, watch it. Don't smash your door in your haste. I gotta do something different. Alright, after reading the instruction manual, you gotta double click to turn it on. I guess that makes sense in today's world. Alright, let me see what it does now. I don't know, I still ain't doing something right. Well, I don't know, it doesn't seem to work. I have not charged it, however. So let me get the other one. Alright, it's been a few weeks now. I tried to use this thing a couple weeks ago and it wouldn't work. There it goes, 100%. I'm going to take it out here. I got a welder that I know has a dead battery, so I'm going to try it on that. Battery is 100% dead, and the camera's fogged. Alright, we'll turn it on. It's lit up. I heard the little thing clicking. Let's see what happens here. It works. Let me see what it does here. Let's see if it resets itself. It does not. I don't know. Now I can't get it to do anything. Alright, let me play with it a little bit more. Alright, after some messing around, I got it to turn on again. Honestly, I ain't sure what I did to turn it on, but you can hear it kind of clicking and carrying on there. I bet it will work. It cranks it real good for a pretty good while. That would have started a normal car with a dead battery. But this is an old ornery welder, which would simulate an old ornery car with a carburetor. I'm just going to leave it hooked up and let it sit a while and see if it resets itself. You know, those are small cables, small battery. Cranked it a pretty good while. Let me see. I did figure out you got to double tap it to turn it on, but I haven't heard it click in there. Let's see what happens. Nothing. I don't know. I've gotten it to turn on a couple times, but now it won't It's not making that clicking noise like it's energizing. Must be a big capacitor. Ain't doing nothing. That's that. Now I'm going to try charging my phone with it. See what happens with that. There's the cord I'm left with. If you're a dad, you know what that's all about, I'm sure. Anyway, let me see what happens. Actually, it might not be a bad idea to prove that it works off that. And as you can see, it's charging. Now I'm going to plug it in a little. Alright, it's all plugged in, but it's not charging. Let me try turning this thing on. It's charging the phone all right. Also verified little flashlight works, but you can't seem to wait. I guess you can turn it off. You got you gotta double click it through several rounds before it will turn off. You know, SOS and all that. Alright, I got it to work twice. Maybe I'll go out and try again here in a minute and see what happens. Alright, I got it plugged up again. It's not turned on. I'm going to go out and see what it does. This time I just plugged it up and I could hear it clicking, but I didn't turn it on. So I'm going to see if it'll crank. And it does. And now it's dead. That would have started, you know, a modern fuel injected car. That cranked it plenty to start it up. It would have started a diesel probably. But this has to pump fuel up into the carburetor. It hasn't been running a long time. It takes it a little bit. Alright, I took the air cleaner off it. I'm going to give her a little shot of gas. And then if I can make this thing turn on again, it'll probably start up. See, it's turned on, but it's not doing anything. Let me try unhooking it. Turn it back up. Nothing. I don't know. I've got one of these. It's like 1500 amp. You've got to, if it won't start on the first try, you've got to unplug it and hook it back up. Different brand, and it will go again. I've got another one. It's like 2000, I think, and it'll reset itself. You can crank it, and if it won't start, just wait a minute or so, and then it'll reset itself, and you crank it again. But this one, I ain't figured out how to make it go again. Now I hear it clicking. The only thing I can figure is, I don't know. You got to unplug it and completely remove it and wait a while. Anyway, let's see if it'll crank it up. I dumped some gas in there. Now it's dead again. See, it does run. let's see here. The rear mirror done fell off. Uh-oh. Dead battery. I've got this portable little jump starter battery pack deal that was sent to me. I've struggled with it a little bit. They sent me a different set of clamps for it. I'm gonna put that on here and see what happens. It's JF EGWO, I guess. Anyway, I've struggled with it a little bit. I think these things are defective. It won't work sometimes, and then you can get it to work once. I think it's charged fine. 6,000 amps, much larger than the others. They sent me these clamps, which should allow continuous cranking whenever you want, but you know, these are kind of small cables. You got to use some restraint there so you don't burn everything up. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Now, these things typically work great on a fuel injected vehicle that starts instantly. They're a little bit more of a challenge on something carbureted just because it's got to crank longer. 72 Pontiac, 400, 4-speed. Now, some other ones turn on instantly as soon as you hook them up. This one does not. You got to press the button twice. So let's give it a shot. Cranks it over quick. It'll go right again. I'm gonna let it sit a minute. I don't want to cook it. It's amazing how much it'll crank. There it goes. Alright, I'm gonna let it warm up here. Kind of an ornery old girl. Let's see what this thing says now. Hear that? When I unplugged it, the engine slowed down. This thing was providing juice. Down to 60%. With these cables, it's much better. All right, here's what I think about this F60 EGWO deal. You know, sometimes they overly complicate things. You know, when you're using a computer, you double click. Well, you got to double click. You know, maybe some old folks just like to push the button, turn it on. I struggled with this thing. You might have seen in trying to start the welder one time. I couldn't get this thing to work good enough for me to start anything with a dead battery that was carbureted. It probably would have worked one time on a fuel injected vehicle, but I couldn't get it to. It wouldn't reset. I couldn't. I just went and got my other one. Now this one's a lot larger. And you can see, you heard it with these clamps. It spun that 400 Pontiac over no problem. And primed the carburetor and it fired up. So that's what you need. But there's no safety here. So those are small cables. You can smoke them pretty easy. So you got to use some sense doing that. So if you order this, I would recommend getting these clamps. Obviously, the flashlight works, and it would charge your phone probably several times. It's pretty. These things are super handy, but I struggled with this one. So I'll leave a link in the description. Best way I know how, and go get you one if you think you need to. But these small things are super handy. I've got several of them. I don't think I'll review anymore just because they want a video right away. I'm a super busy guy. And you got to have a dead battery to try it, you know. Of course, that's not too hard around here.
with a fleet I got.